Friends, Romans, countrymen, lend me your ears. I have come to bury Caesar, not to praise Caesar. Again, my nightly thespian adventure has begun. And again, I have to log in. I don't know why, but I am logging in. There we go. Okay. There we go. And some things I have to tell you. Small changes in subject matter that we're going to be doing, not regarding this piece, but small changes. One of which is, anyway, before I do that, I'd like to give you my nightly quote. Famous quote from a famous person. This quote is reportedly comes from John Cabot, who is extremely famous for discovering the east coast of Canada, the Grand Banks, etc., in the 16th century, 15th century, I believe. Who, upon crossing the Grand Banks, he observed what we now know are cod in such quantities that you could almost walk on the water by standing on cod. And who reportedly said, "Those are the biggest effing sardines I have ever seen." He was a great explorer, but his abilities in the study of fish were lacking, to say the least. Anyway, you can get a quote at any time at all, simply by requesting one by throwing in 100 bits, the grand total of $1, from anyone you wish. I have thousands of them. And if you'd like a quote, then you simply have to tell me the person you'd like to hear a quote from, and if not, then I will just give you one randomly that I know. And hopefully this will add a little fun, to the proceedings, to say the least. Anyway, what I wanted to say, I'm going to just turn the light down a little bit here because we have daylight still, thank heaven. Look at that. Oh, my eyes say, oh, thank you. Thank you. A little bit of shadow. No, it's okay. All right. 1-aught light will do, which is much better. I don't see double. Anyway, here is the change in procedure. I've had some people say to me that they would really like to see like a fine art old master demonstration. Now I explained that Rembrandt's Man in the Golden Helmet, which is an absolutely fabulous painting. I have done it once, and I will correct that. I've actually done it twice. The second time, the reason I forgot was it was a painting within a painting. I put it as a small painting in a bigger painting, so it was like a still life. And I'd forgotten all about it because I sold the painting about 20 years ago, so I'd forgotten. I was looking through some of my archives. I went, oh no, I lied to the Twitch. I've done it more than once. Anyway, that said, to do a high-res Well, for sure it's high. The resolution is perfect. Anyway, be that as it may, to do a high res painting of the Man in the Golden Helmet by none other than Rembrandt. And I said, well, my acrylics are still in storage, and I have to dig them out, and which is true. My artist quality acrylics are indeed in storage. But I was painting this afternoon, giving demonstrations to my young animation student. Well, he's not young; he's a grown up. He's a man, 18 or so. Anyway, I was giving him instructions on some portraiture. And as I'm doing it, I'm realizing I'm using student grade paint because I use his paint so he can work on it at home. So he takes his paint with him. Anyway, it occurs to me that this isn't a problem if I use a glazing technique that you can use with acrylics, whereby you don't really worry too much about the artist grade because you're putting on layer after layer of paint that is glazed down and you get the same effect. Now, why I didn't think of this, I don't know. It just hit me this afternoon, like, why don't you do that with Rembrandt? And I said to myself, yeah, you idiot, why the hell don't you do it with Rembrandt? Well, luckily, I realized the error of my ways, and I said, I can. So, the good news is I'm going to do Rembrandt next, The Man in the Golden Helmet, on board, gessoed board. So that'll be interesting, and something a little bit different that you see normally. But it also is a little bit of a detour, a little bit from the fancy art, which I really like to do. But I really think I should show you how to do the. You need to also know how to do the like the old master stuff as well, and I can show you how to do that. So, needless to say, I'm going to do that, and it'll be fun. I guarantee it'll be fun, and so if all you lovely people who love fantasy art abandon me, just wait till I get a. Don't feel betrayed, please don't. Just realize that it's going back to fantasy after Rembrandt, but I do think you'll enjoy it because of the techniques I'm going to show. Because the technique is, I think you'll be quite happy to see how you do this, and it can be used in many, many different mediums. Not mediums, but many, many different subject matters. And I really think it will be something that you will enjoy. And I'll enjoy it because I haven't done Rembrandt in quite some time. Reason being that not many people I know own, well, there's nobody I know owns a Rembrandt. So if you want one, the problem is there's only two ways to get it. A, have more money than God, or Jeff Bezos, whatever comes first. Or, well, there's three ways actually. Or you could steal one from a museum, which has consequences far beyond what one would think are reasonable because you'd never get rid of it in a million years. And thirdly, if you want a real painting, you need to go to an artist who will do you, said Rembrandt. And I've done this over the years. I've done mostly Vermeers people want. But I have done Rembrandt. And usually they don't want the man in the golden helmet. They want some particular picture. And because the real reason is that you haven't got a lot of options, you know? What I mean by that is that they're just not available, and if you want a painting, you can really only get a poster or whatever. That's about it. And if you want an actual painting of a Rembrandt, you have to go to an artist. There's just no other way to do it. And you have to go to somebody who knows how to do that kind of art. Also, there's not a lot of people who know how to do it. So if you don't want to just put a poster up, which is exactly what happens with Vermeer, they don't want a poster, they want the painting. And it's always usually the same painting. It's the girl with the pearl earring. And that's the only way to do it, unfortunately. Unless you meet those other criteria. And the sad part is that even if you were Jeff Bezos, who has, as I said, more money than God, it wouldn't do you any good. And the reason is they're all in museums. There's no privately held Rembrandts that are known, to my knowledge anyway. And so if he says to his minions, Amazon people, go out on a quest. I want a Rembrandt, and I don't care about the cost. Well, they're going to come back and say, Your Majesty, or Mr. Amazon, or whatever, Mr. Bezos, we have looked far and wide in the realm and find that there are none. None at all. Zero. There's nothing you can do about it. So, what he does is gnashes his teeth and says, well, that's the case. I'm going to start my own bank. Okay. And he does. Or is. Or will be shortly. Which, believe it or not, is affecting Canadians in particular. Because they just canceled all our Amazon. Every Canadian who had an Amazon card make purchasing easy on Amazon.ca, I should say. Not Amazon, but Amazon.ca, and went, oh, this is fabulously easy. We're given notice, everybody who had one, that you no longer could use your Amazon card. So the first thing that came to my mind is, what about all the points I have? And the fact that I keep a credit balance. So I quickly made a call to said bank and said, hearken thee. Which I always love to do with a credit card company because they owe me money. I'm one of those guys who just decides to see if I can mess with the system. And I always make sure I have a credit balance on my credit card, any credit card I have. Not a lot. It could be up to $20 or $15. Just a little bit. Drives them crazy. Drives them crazy. My favorite one was a one that I have in. It's a fairly. It's sorry. It's not. It's a Mastercard who gives me an online statement every month if I owe them money. Well, I don't because I have a small credit. So you're gonna love this. So anyway, they send me in my statement. You have. I mean, it was all correct. I showed a credit of $20 or whatever, and then they said minimum payment is I don't know, $10, $15, whatever the minimum of the minimum you can pay is. They said minimum payment $15. I went, that's a lot, or whatever. I said, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to phone that number on the back of the card. So I phone them and say, I don't quite get this. And they go, oh, what's that, sir? We're here to help. Of course you're here to help. Why else would I phone you? I said, well, you kind of like owe me money. So why do you have a minimum payment requirement from me? And they go, well, no, sir, you don't owe any money. You've actually got a credit in your account. I said, exactly. So why, when you emailed me the statement, does it say minimum payment? Whatever, whatever the hell it was, $15 or I don't know, whatever it was. And they went, oh, that's just in all the statements. You can ignore that. I went, oh, okay. So I hung up and I started thinking about it. I went, man, is that sneaky? And I went, I wonder how many people who have credit balances automatically just keep sending them the minimum payment. Because in a sense, they get to use your money, right? So I'm going, oh, that is something I wonder about. So now I'm deciding to drop my credit balance down to around, $5 or something, just in case they're investing on my back. So in a sense, maybe my gambit backfired on me. Could be. But again, into everyone's life a little rain must fall. A little. Not much. Just a little wee bit. Anyway, that's what I've done. So anybody who's wondering, how an artist in a solitary endeavor, which is doing art, solitary endeavor. In other words, you do it by yourself, usually, unless you're teaching. Gets his jollies? Well, thinking up little schemes like this to drive big companies crazy is lots of fun. Really? So you can imagine my chagrin when I phoned them and said, I don't quite understand. You're canceling the card. Why did you cancel my card? They say, oh, sir, this is the explanation. Oh, sir, it's not just you. I said, oh, no? They go, oh, no, not just you. We canceled everybody's card. I went, oh. And I said, can I ask why you would do that? Something like that? Said, yes, apparently Chase Manhattan, which is a big bank in the States, is leaving Canada. Now, what do they mean by leaving? I really and truly don't know. I don't really understand how do you leave when you've never been here? It's all online virtual. So there is no Chase Manhattan Bank, to my knowledge, you can go to in Canada and say, oh, hello, Miss Teller. Could you do this or that for me or whatever? No. So it's a mystery wrapped in an enigma. A mystery. But anyway, on to art. Yes, we're moving on to art. We are moving on, and now I see the light as it starts to fade. Is in need of more light. There we go. Now we can see.
I love the West, it's full of charms, but I rest best in my baby's arms. Come West, little girl, come West.
So I was traveling around today, looking at a few sites, and I got an email that this guy went online. He's not on Twitch. He's on a site called Picarto, which is strictly for artists. So I went online, and so I clicked the link and went online to see him and see what he was doing. The first thing that happens is when I click on the link, it takes me to him, and the screen comes up and it says, "For mature audiences only." I went, "Oh, what's this about? For mature audiences." Now, I don't really know how mature I am. I know how old I am, but I don't know if that means maturity. But anyway, regardless, I said, well, I can handle it. Okay, so I clicked on it. And lo and behold, he's doing a sketch. And I go, oh, okay. And he's doing a cartoon sketch of a fox. Which again, I went, okay. So I'm looking at the drawing, and then I realize the fox was, well, let me put it in a more clinical sense. The fox had human mammary glands. That's in case the censors are listening. And I went, on a fox? What the hell is that all about? And it be honest with you, it kind of looks stupid. I don't know. Just kind of looks stupid to me. But you know, I mean, the guy's cartooning was pretty good. I'm not saying he doesn't do any good job. But the subject matter really went, what? What's with this? Oh, inquiring minds want to know. So, my student, who's 19 or whatever, I come over and go, and I say to him, why would somebody be doing this? So he takes a look and says, oh, he said, oh, he's a Furby. So I guess my blank stare kind of got to him because I went, a Furby? And he goes, yeah, Furby. So I said, okay, I'll bite. What the hell's a Furby? He goes, oh, those are people who amorphize animals to give them human attributes. I went, what? So right away I'm thinking, oh, you mean like a chimp or something? He goes, oh, no, 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 that's not what I mean. He goes, no, 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 not a chimp. He goes, like this guy is doing. He takes a fox and gives it a chest. I went, you know, you're starting to really scare me that the world is coming to an end. I go, why? He goes, well, it's some sort of a fetish thing. I went, a fetish thing? A fox that looks from the waist up like a human female and then turns back into a fox? He goes, yeah, that's it exactly. And I said, okay, maybe I've been living in a cave or something, and all this has sort of just, I've missed all this. Because I went to him, are you kidding me, right? He goes, no, 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 no. He says, they even have conventions. I said, what? He said, what do you mean a convention? I'm thinking, well, there's a convention like a thing, or they have rules or regulations. And he goes, oh, no, 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 no. A convention. So I said to him, well, okay, define convention. What do you mean? He goes, well, they can go like to Las Vegas, and everybody who's like-minded goes to the convention. So I went, you mean like a bunch of plumbers getting together and having a convention? He went, yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. I went, okay. Life is over as I know it. This is beyond weird. So call me crazy, but oh, yes. And I said, well, okay. No, that's what I asked him. Forgot what I asked him for a second. I go, well, what do they do at the convention? He goes, well, I've never been there, obviously. I said, well, thank God, or I'd be escorting you out the door. Like, I wouldn't have realized you were a madman. He goes, no. What they do is they wear costumes of the animal that they associate with. So a giant bunny rabbit, or so then now I'm paying attention. So I'm going, okay, let me get this straight. Adult human beings are going to a convention, like in a hotel or whatever. He goes, yeah, and they're dressing up in bunny rabbit costumes. Yeah, like the Easter bunny, and having dinner and drinks and whatever you do at a convention, or that kind of convention. He goes, exactly. Now you got it. And I just said, well, maybe I've lived too long. I don't know. Because if I was in a hotel and a guy walked down the hall beside me and he was dressed as the Easter bunny, the first thing I'd be doing is calling security. There's somebody crazy in the hotel. Security. Like, God, what's going on? This cannot be right. And he goes, oh, no, no, no. He says, the whole hotel will be full of them. I said, a hotel full of Easter bunnies? He goes, no. I went, you lost me again. He goes, no, no, no. The Easter bunny would only be one. There'd be people dressed up like skunks and foxes. And I went, oh. So right away I'm thinking, this is even weirder than I thought. Okay. So I learned something new today. You know, every day you should try to learn something new. Well, I learned something new today. And what I learned is there's seriously crazy people out there.
Get your entry folder today.
Because I have never in my life heard of this. Furbies, or something you call them. So he saw my consternation, the little bugger, and immediately decides, aha, there's an opening, which he's wont to do because he's a kid. And he goes, yeah, they even have their own website. I went, can I ask you how you know that? And he goes, well, I just know it. And he goes, I went, okay. And he goes, do you want me to bring it up for you? I said, oh, no. I'm good. I believe you. I'm good. And then he says, oh, it's not just one website. He says there's dozens and dozens of these websites. I went, oh, more crazy people. Just what we need in this world. More crazy people. Anyway, he thinks this is hilarious. I guess my reactions to this. So, he drove me crazy all afternoon with it. Finally stopped when I threatened to sabotage his portrait and make him look like Hitler. When he finally stopped. But Jesus, I'm sorry. There's a limit for me anyway. Like, that is just, I mean, really? Are you kidding me? So, I must say, no offense to anybody out there who likes to go to bed every night dressed like a rabbit. I don't mean any offense, but I had never heard anything like this before. Then I'm thinking about, I wonder what the cuisine is in the hotel. Like, they just eat like celery and stuff and carrots and that kind of stuff. Inquiring minds want to know. So if you've ever heard of this, fine. But I'll tell you, it's all new to me. Because I'm thinking, you gotta be a special kind of crazy to do that. Where's that pencil I just had? Oh, there it is. It's hiding on me.
really brings enjoyment is the kind that is for girl and boy. Men, fall in love, you won't regret it. That's the best work of all if you can get it.
But then I was thinking like of the implications, you know, like.
Nice work if you can get it, and you can get it if you try. Strolling with the one girl.
What happens is it starts to morph over into
Nice work if you can get it, and you can get it
the real world, you know, like where people aren't so crazy. Like, would you vote for somebody who's dressed up like a rabbit? In other words, would you put the Easter Bunny in office? You know? Like, where does it end?
And if you get it, oh, won't you tell me how?
Inquiring minds want to know. Now, I've put a little bit of a green cast on the gold. If you recall a drawing I did of one of the gods of war, and there was tons of brassy gold on them, and I used a green cast on it in order to really make it pop in that not 14 karat gold look, more like a 10 karat gold look. Now, I apologize for using the word carrot now, so because nothing to do with rabbits. But then something spooky happened. I go to this show, they're over in Europe, so I watch this show. And the girl is, she does Prismacolor, so I like to just see if, maybe there's a technique I don't know about or something. Interest. I kind of watch her show just to see. And I like watching Prismacolor being done. I mean, nice way to pass the time. Anyway, I go over to her show, and they don't speak English. She doesn't. Says something in Polish, and she reaches over, and what does she pick up? I kid you not, this is the truth. The God's honest truth. What does she pick up? A rabbit. I went, oh my God. And right away I'm thinking, Easter bunnies, conventions, like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Cannot be. And yeah, not only can it be, it was sure. Because this bunny got hugs and kisses and whatever. But I went, make one observation, find out about something, now they're coming out of the holes at me. Anyway, that's my life in the fast lane. So that was my afternoon, working on a portrait, teaching the young lad how to do it.
We loved, we laughed, we cried, and suddenly love died. The story ends.
And the trouble is, it's very difficult to teach because there's just so many variables to it, and so I kind of have to show them how to do it, huh? Which isn't a problem. I don't mind doing that at all. And So I end up showing him all the different techniques and how he's doing, and we're working on his painting, so it doesn't really matter. And he'll go home and attempt. And let's see, yeah, in about half an hour I'll get a text that says, I forget how you did that part. And I'll say, I'll see you tomorrow. I'll see you tomorrow, lad. And we'll go over it in detail. Which means he stops dead. Dead. Done. Can't go on. Cannot go on. And here's the conversation for tomorrow. Well, why didn't you just move on to a different piece, a part of the portrait? He goes, oh, I guess I could have, but when I didn't know how to do that, I just stopped. And then I'll go, oh, okay. This is a conversation I know I'm going to be having tomorrow. Well, I could have done that, but you didn't. No.
You're the top. You're the Coliseum. You're the top. You're the Louvre Museum. You're the melody from a symphony.
But anyway, that's life in the fast lane.
Shakespeare sonnet, you're Mickey Mouse. You're the Nile. You're the Tower of Pisa. You're the smile on the Mona Lisa. I'm a worthless check, a total wreck, a flop.
A lot of ornamentation on this, and I'm just working that ornamentation into the hammered gold and whatnot. And I'm just realizing that I have to move into a blue to do it. And I don't mean blue just straight off the paper, onto the paper. I have to put the blue on top of the layers already down there in order to get a nice shadow look on the gold. I want it to glow. And this will make it glow. Strange, I know, but that's how it works. And since you're using yellow, you see, and that green I was telling you about, well, when you're putting blue on it, it turns it to green, which is kind of what you want. At least I want it, for anyway, for this. Well, folks, I hope that's looking shiny, because it's supposed to. It's supposed to look really shiny. I want to get the So I'm trying to work the shine right through the middle, right? So it's shadowed on the side. How does that look? Yeah, it's coming along. Things are good. But
you are listening to Radio Dismuke.
I'm gonna have to put
HappyMusicRadio.com.
shadow in here. Get that 3D look. 3-dimensional look. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. I don't suppose you want to hear any of my airbrush woes, but I swear there's a giant conspiracy that is working against me regarding my airbrush. I swear. So I had purchased this stuff that was really heavy duty airbrush cleaner, and it's a chemical. Frankly, what I really think it is paint stripper, but because it was an art store, you know, the amount you get compared for the price is ridiculous. The next time I'll just use paint stripper, but I wasn't really familiar with the application, because when you're using oil in a airbrush, you get the clogs out right away because you use thinners and stuff, and it always dissolves everything. Acrylic, not so much. And so I had a couple little cups that I use for acrylic paints, and the acrylic dries in them like normal, so it builds up on the sides. So I got a couple of little pieces that Scott gave me. He said, "Here, you need to get the paint off these," which I did. But what I hadn't realized was it also dissolved the paint that was on the side, the walls of the cup. So I went and looked at the two pieces, and they were completely covered in this sludge. And I went, oh, damn. Which necessitated cleaning said sludge out, getting the two pieces into clean stuff, and you know what? I don't even want to tell you, because it's just it's enough to drive a person mad. I have to get in there. With a the progression is intricate. I was watching a commercial last night after the show. Oh, I guess it wasn't. Yeah, it must have been a commercial. Anyway, it came up with this new series that's on, The Alienist, about 1890s New York City. I'm curious because there was a book out years ago by Caleb Carr, who's an historian, American historian, and he wrote a book called The Alienist. And somewhere I think I read that it's taken off of his it's a series regarding the story in his book, and believe me, if it is, wow, I can still remember that book cover. It was really cool because all the information he put in it was all it was all the actual historical information. It was really cool because he's a historian. So not only were you reading a novel, you were reading put in all the pertinent historical facts. So it was really, really good. Anyway, it was called The Alienist, but that's the book, so I don't know if the show is exactly the same or the series. It doesn't matter, I downloaded it anyway, so we'll see. We'll see. Won't be able to tell you. Sure hope so. I'm getting a little bit of green in, like I told you. Shadow color that I'm going to put down first. Now, if for any reason you're doing this, like you're doing gold or whatever, you can run into some patches that are really you're at your wit's end to get to. And my suggestion is there's so many variables when you're doing gold that really the best thing to do is simply just keep going. Move on to another section or whatever, because it's it can be really annoying. You're not getting the exact look you want, but just so you know that it's just not that easy. There's a technique involved. One of them does not involve breaking pencils. Like I just did. Now that green I put down, I'm going to put down ochre now over top of that. You get the green that you want by going over or you get the gold you want by going over top of it. So it shadows the yellow ochre a bit more for you. Which is a good thing. Da, da, da. And yellow and green make
Each day now will be a sad memory, and love dreams for me are ended. Birds have gone to their beds, flowers are drooping their heads, hope and sweet happiness are ended. How can I face it? What am I to do? Life will be empty
Now, that's really intricate in there, so what I'm going to do is go in with hopefully this blue. Get the definition I want on the curly cues and whatnot. Hope so, anyway.
That's something I must tell. Each day now will be a sad memory, and love dreams for me are ended. Birds have gone to their beds, flowers are drooping their heads, hope and sweet happiness are ended.
Okay, I'm gonna go
What am I to do? I will be empty, so sad will
lighter blue. I don't want blue, blue, blue.
that will come bright, and skies will be bright tomorrow.
Copenhagen blue. What the hell is that? I think what they mean is Delft blue. They call it Copenhagen blue. I don't really think that's the name. There is a Delft blue, and it really looks like this. So I think they just named it Copenhagen blue for whatever reason. Who knows? Maybe Copenhagen's got a, or maybe Delft has a copyright on it or something.
Radio Dismuke is a listener.
Oh, by the way,
1900s music
news on my copyright. Old music copyright.
new and appreciative modern audiences.
Again,
If you
I
enjoy
have
music that
protested,
value the work that we do,
and
consider giving us your support to whatever degree you're able.
what do they call it?
Not only ensure that the music continues to play for your own enjoyment, you will also be
Not
passing
protest.
on a priceless gift to all those who will discover this wonderful music for the first time. As
Challenge the copyright implications on the music, and I have
www.1900s.org.
prevailed.
Early 1900s.org.
Did you not? I got the email. Your song now does not have any mutes in it. No copyright violation. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. There's one thing I'm not quite sure on, though. Music. Is the music itself copyrighted, or is it the performance of the music? Reason why this is a little mystery. There's a page in Facebook I belong to. It's a portrait group, and the guy who basically owns the page or runs the page, I guess he owns it. Started, I guess. Anyway, he's a musician, and he was doing a painting, and he played all his own music on the painting while he was drawing it. He recorded it and played it, and he puts up a notice that Facebook has claimed copyright infringement on all the music. And I went, well, hold on. If he was playing the music, how is that copyright? Doesn't make sense to me. The reason is like, you can go buy sheet music for the piano and other instruments. I mean, it's not like it's unheard of. Or people do it. And they play it. So, what exactly were they talking about? That's what I'm saying. See, inquiring minds want to know. I want to know. Like, what the hell is that all about? I don't have a clue. Doesn't make sense to me at all. You play the music yourself, and they hit you with a copyright violation. So you're you've copyright violation yourself? You see where I'm going with this? I don't get it. If anybody gets it, just let me know, because I'd love to know how the hell this all works. I'm quite versed in art. I know all about copyright in art. But music? No, I haven't got a clue. Zero. It seems to me, if you play your own music, how in God's name can somebody say, well, yeah, you violated a copyright? What copyright? You played it. Jeez, I don't know. This seems strange. I'm going to bring this up to a certain level, and then I'm just going to move on. And the reason is yeah, I can play around with it for a couple hours, but I know I'm going to be using some highlighting techniques. So there's no need. There is absolutely no need. Da, 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 da. I still got a little bit too much of the green there. I'm looking at.
And all my dreams get me nowhere. I wish I
Da,
had
da,
wonderful
da.
glory be. I could be free if I had one.
Want you bright, you sucker. Bright, I said. That's better. Okay. Moving on. I'm going to go up, straight up. To here. I think what I'll do first is just do a straight cover with a light cover of ochre. Dun, dun, dun. Dun, dun, dun. Dun, 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 dun. There we go. This outside edge is really bright. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, dun.
It looks like you like having your
Well, I see they're going to do something about the green. So it's too green. So I'll fix that as soon as we're done here. That's kind of why I'm saying move on, because you may do another part and find out that, just like I did, that the shadow I put in I thought was right is not right. So you just move on. You can spend an hour fixing it, and then all of a sudden you find out, oh no, the wrong shade or tone or whatever. And that's no fun. So what I'm saying is, move on to another spot. Move on to a spot where they'll appreciate you. Oh God, it's got a bit of a draft of cold, cold Canadian air. Oh, does that feel good? Which happens occasionally when you leave the window open. But back there. The reason I'm doing that is because should they fall behind the table, I've got to get down on my hands and knees. Oh, you son of a... And go dig for it. And all that for... Formulation is too... isn't soft enough. We're doing gold anyway. That was sand, so bear that in mind. But don't try it first. I'll tell you why. It's because I've picked up same colored pencil, same color, same everything. One is soft and one is not really creamy. Well, why is that? I don't know. Oh! Oh, and behold, I find the color I've been looking for. There we go. Yellow ochre. Oh, actually not. It's close to that anyway. Another color that's really close to it called Tangerine. Like Tangerine Dream, yeah.
You're the cream in my coffee. You're the salt in my stew. You will always be my baby. I'd be lost without you. You're the starch in my collar. You're the lace in my shoe. You will always be my baby. Without you. Toss and tell love tales, and each phrase dovetails. You've heard each known way. This way is my own way. You're the sail of my love. You're the you will always be my baby. I'd be lost without you.
Little girl, you're the one girl for me. Little girl, you're as sweet as can be. Just a glance at you meant love from the start. And oh, what a thrill came into my heart. Little girl, with your cute little ways, I am yours for the rest of my days. And this great big world will be divine. Little girl, when you're mine, oh mine.
Da, 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 da. I mean, I look right over Lake Ontario where I am. Boy, the lake's been rough for the last couple of days. I don't know why. And believe me, Lake Ontario's rough. You don't want to go out in it. It's a very big body of water. Not as big as Lake Superior, but boy, it's big. It's 50 miles across. 50 miles. Like 80 some odd kilometers across. That really isn't someplace you want a big lake. Here's a little bit of trivia for you if you ever had any interest in the Great Lakes. Any interest. And the question is, how long, if you were to drop a drop of water into Lake Superior, biggest of the Great Lakes, at the lakehead at Sault Ste. Marie, where it joins to that bridge that goes across to the U.S. If you were to drop an ounce of water in there, how long would it take that drop of water to make its way out to the Atlantic Ocean? So in other words, from lake to lake to lake to the St. Lawrence River and out into the Atlantic Ocean. That's the question. How long? If anybody can answer, you will get a free quote. Well, and if you're looking up in Google, trust me, I don't think you'll find it. A little specific. Anybody? No. I have no takers. None. Zero. Nobody willing to take a guess or nobody. Not a even wonder. Well, that only means that I'm going to have to tell you. Which may be the idea to begin with. I don't have to. If I don't say anything, he'll tell us anyway. Oh, that's true. I want to show you my collection of stubby little whites here. To give you an idea just what is entailed in terms of using white. Isn't that cute? Dead, and thank God I have more. Because I buy them by the... Oh. Anyway. Nobody's hazarding a guess. Okay. Not even a guess. Trust me. Quick question. Just a question. Oh. A year? 6 months? Right down. Oh. Well, no. Nobody's asking. Nobody's asking at all. Okay. Well, I will tell you how long it takes. It takes, are you ready for it? 450 years. Great. Meter weight. Yeah. Good soldier. 450 years. Now, who said there's hardly any water in the Great Lakes? Only one lake in the world has more water in it. That's Lake Baikal, Churushka. But I gotta tell you, that is one hell of a long time. But it also tells you how much water is there. The most amazing thing, it's all fresh water. No salt. None. Fresh water. Fresh, clean water. Which in itself is amazing. And my ancestors used to leave Montreal at the first hint of spring, jump in freighter canoes, and paddle and portage through the Great Lakes all the way up to Sault Ste. Marie. And why? Because they wanted beaver pelt. And they would get there, and summer would be over, and they would have to live in Moose Factory, not Moose Factory. Lived in Manitoba, and when the spring came again, they brought all of their pelts back. Then they'd winter in Montreal, or Quebec City, I should say. And then they would leave in the spring and go back out. Where? Manitoba, by way of the Great Lakes. And they did this for years and years and years. They paddled canoes that were 18 feet long and took 6 men to lift it up in order to portage them. I don't even know how they lifted them up when they were full of furs. No idea. Mind you, I don't know if maybe the portages were as bad going back because the water was flowing that way. Or maybe that's the. But regardless, it was a hell of a way to make a living. But lay the furs off the Indians. So, his beaver pelts were worth a lot of money. His European market was just gaga. Oh. And I don't know if you've ever felt beaver fur, but you can see why. It's really nice. I'm sure the beavers would prefer to wear it. Dun, 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 dun. No, 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 no. What I want is an olive green. Oh, that's grass green. You heard me. Olive green. Olive green? Olive green, yes. You have it. Perhaps I spoke too soon. Olive green. Oh, please
Miserable thing. A cold may become a dangerous thing.
release me, let me go,
Be prompt, be
or
decisive.
I don't love you
Sign of a cold, take
anymore.
bromoquinine tablets. Bromoquinine tablets quickly they give you speedy results which are very important.
Oh, release me, and I will
Dependable preparation,
live again.
bromoquinine tablets.
Please
Tragedy,
let me go.
here's my catastrophe. Tragedy, tragedy, my man's gone from me. Comedy, comedy, I suppose the joke's on me. Mystery, mystery, where can my man be? Stop the train everywhere. Stop all planes in the air. Stop the night. Stop the dawn. My man's gone. Stop the rivers that roll. Stop the clouds that unfold. I got pain in my soul. My man's gone. He was like a part of me, on the very heart of me. Each new day brings misery. Stop him or do away with me. Stop the sun, stop the moon, or I'll go crazy soon. Stop the band, stop this tune. My man's gone. Stop the sun, stop the moon.
God help me. Just looking at a piece of modern art there up on the screen. Got to put on the Van Dyke show on the Chromecast before I came in. I'm not going to go do it. So Google has its own cast for Chrome that it does arts and photos and whatnot. Called Writers titled Michigan Art Museum. Okay. Anyway, go take a look. See what you think. I already know what I think. Curious.
You made the river flow, the flowers grow. You made the weak and the strong. But Lord, you made the night.
Oh, through the middle, through the nose, over the toes, who knows?
You made the robin sing a song of spring, and me you gave a lonely song. Oh Lord, that's why this night's so long. I got a cabin, the door is open wide. What good's a heart and what good's a cabin if nobody lives inside? You made the mountain high, the earth, the sky. So who am I to say you're wrong? But Lord, you made the night
Nope.
too long.
Nope, 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 no, 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 no. It's not the color I'm looking for. No, 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 no. Come on, you mean I gotta mix it? Son of a... Okay.
You gave me hope, it's empty too. I'm singing hallelujah, hallelujah to you, believing in you, believing in you. You made the river flow, you made the flowers grow, you made the weak and the strong. Lord, you made the night too long.
To meld together here.
You made the robin sing a happy song of spring. You gave me a lonely song.
Complications, complications, complications. Alright.
My door is open wide. What good's a heart and what good's
No, I don't want sepia.
nobody lives inside?
There you are.
You made a mountain, the earth and the sky. To say you're wrong,
Da 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 da
my heart keeps
da
running.
da da.
Lord, you made the night too long.
Do 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 do. Da 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 da. Yadi yadi yadi. Do 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 do.
Now it ain't no use for the pinch and save when I put on my long white robe. Oh, I can't take none of it to my grave when I put on my long white robe. St. Peter won't know if I'm rich or poor when I put on my long white robe. And I ain't going for the work no more when I put on my long white robe. Sing hallelujah, hallelujah. Riding a white horse, diamond hood, hitched to the rock where Moses stood. Look so fine, feel so good when I put on my long white robe.
Do 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 do.
I look at my hands and they look all new when I put on my long white robe. And my big old feet look that way too when I put on my long white robe. Oh, my rope it leaks and my chimney smokes when I put on my long white robe. And I hold up my head like the other folks when I put on my long white robe. Sing hallelujah,
Yeah.
riding a white horse, diamond hood, hitching to the rock where Moses stood. Look so fine, feel so good when I put on my long white robe. Blow that horn, Gable, blow that horn. Don't keep my pants on my legs when I put on my long white robe. Don't hang 'em up on those golden pegs when I put on my long white robe. Don't keep my nose on my face when I put on my long white robe. Or anywhere else gonna be out of place when I put on my long white robe. Sing hallelujah, hallelujah.
Ooh, yeah.
Riding a white horse, diamond hood, hitching to the rock where Moses stood. Look so fine, feel so good when I put on my long white robe.
Dun, 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 dun.
You are listening to Radio Dismuke.
RadioDismuke.com. HappyMusicRadio.com.
Da, da. Da, 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 da.
Beside a shady nook, a moment's bliss we took to talk of love. And then I whispered, dear, I love you, I love you. Just a dream, an idle scheme of mine to fool my heart. And yet it seemed divine, it must be true. I was with you and you are mine, oh mine. Da 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 dee 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 dee. Oh no, 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 no! Yellow ochre. Oh my!
Out of walking we will go. Let the stormy weather blow.
I'm so happy when I'm with you.
Won't you share my old umbrella? Little Cinderella.
I'm an honest sort of fella.
Be quite okay. Now it's just begun to pelter. You'll be needing shelter.
Instead of running helter-skelter,
Why not share my company?
I was feeling blue when you came in view, just like an angel down from above.
And I'll be feeling fine when your hand's in mine and you're telling me all about love. Won't you share my old umbrella? Little Cinderella.
I'm an honest sort of fella.
You'll be quite okay with me. I saw you coming down the street, and I felt a little drop of rain. Now here's my great big opportunity, and it may never happen.
To say.
Good morning. Nasty day, isn't it? Nasty day, isn't it?
Yes, I heard you the first time.
You don't seem very amiable this morning.
No, it's pouring with rain. I haven't an umbrella. My frock and shoes are ruined. I've missed my usual train, and you expect me to be amiable.
Well, you certainly look pretty cute when you're bad-tempered.
How can anyone be angry when you're around? I'm beginning to feel better already.
At a girl, that's the stuff. What's a little drop of rain when you're in love? My umbrella is big enough for two, if we keep close together.
Shall we take a chance?
Definitely. Let's go, pal. We'll fix it tight
nice big date for tonight. Go to a swell party.
That'll be grand. Won't you share my old umbrella, pretty little Cinderella? I'm You'll soon be needing shelter, instead of running helter-skelter. Won't you share my company?
I was feeling blue when you came in view like an angel down from above.
I feel fine with your hand in mine, telling me all about love. Won't you share my old umbrella, little Cinderella? I'm an honest sort of fella.
You'll be quite okay with
On a coconut island, I'd like to be a castaway with you. On a coconut island, there wouldn't be so very much to do. I would linger a while and just gaze into your love eyes of blue. Then I'd walk for a mile and come running back to be with you. There, the waves would make a pair who will enslave me forever. And for days and days and days we'd never gaze out where the ships go sailing by. On a coconut island, I'd like to be a castaway with you. On a coconut island, where we could make our dreams come true.
On a coconut island, I'd like to be a castaway with you. On the coconut island, there wouldn't be so very much to do. Linger a while, gaze into your lovely eyes of blue. And I'd walk for a mile and come running back with you. Then the waves would and we'd lace for days and days and never gaze out where the ships go sailing by. On the coconut island, I'd like to be a castaway with you. Just to bask in your smile and to realize my dreams come true.
The waves would make a pair of willing slaves of you and me. For days and days and days we'd never gaze out where the ships go sailing by. On Coconut Island, I'd like to be Coconut Island, baby. We could make our dream come true, baby.
Radio Dismuke is a listener-supported service of early 1900s.
So I'm going through here.
A organization devoted to bringing the great forgotten music of the past to the attention of
In order to adjust
modern
the
audiences.
lighting over here.
If you enjoy the music we present and value the work that we do, please consider giving us your support to whatever degree you're able. Your contribution will not only ensure that the music continues to play for your own enjoyment, you will also be passing on a priceless gift to all those who will discover this wonderful music for the first time as a result of our efforts. For more information, go to www.early1900s.org. That's early1900s.org.
Go west, young man. Go west. Just adjusting highlights. Oh, as I move on to the next piece. Think of a painting as your own crossword puzzle that you made up and you have to solve. And sometimes you thought was going to work or is the right word may not be or fits in there. So what you do is you adjust until you find something that completely works, and I just found it. There we go. The light's going through the middle. Just bright as a dollar. Yes, ma'am. Yes. I'm dangerously close here to the edge of the wood on this pencil. Remember I told you to be careful when you're doing this, because if it sharpens and it only sharpens one side, be careful, because that piece of wood is like a sharp pick and it will screw up your drawing. It'll screw it up as sure as God made little green apples. Period. Rougher it. In other words, color that isn't blended enough to my. Now it's going to get blended. I like. Because that's the way it is, laddie. My Scottish heritage says, "You dinna ken?" That means, holy God, I picked up sepia. Oh, wait. God, that looks dark under. Anyway, dinna ken means simply, you not understand. And if you don't worry about it, because nobody does. By Scottish is the true language of the prophets. I mean, I think the Bible was first written in Scottish. And if it wasn't, well, it should have been. Dun, 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 dun. Bit overspray there, that's why it's a bit bright. Yeah, the proper way to do this is really finish the painting, then use low tack airbrush film. Cut around it with an X-Acto knife down to the last millimeter. At which point you can then do your spray, and you can spray exactly. Oh, come on! Not even a color I need. I can't. Spray exactly to the painting then, opposed to the drawing. And that's what you're supposed to do. Well, I don't really do it that way. Not for these kind of drawings. Well, really, it's only these kind of drawings I use airbrush in, frankly. But anyway, what I do is just cut out the sketch around and just tape it down and airbrush it. So you're bound to get some over. So, you see, with using colored pencils, it really doesn't matter because you're spraying is very thin coats of acrylic paint, really. So consequences are that you don't really have to worry about it, and that's because Prismacolor will cover those spots handily. You don't have to worry, and that's the way it goes. And you save yourself a little bit of whatever by using just a sketch as opposed to the cutout miscut. Not miscut. Film. Fast. I mean, it takes. You don't risk cutting your paper. You don't risk it. Not that I've ever had that happen. It could, I suppose, if you weren't paying attention. Some mishap, but it never happened to me, so I can't really say. But I can see it happening. And if it happens, then you got a real problem on your hands. You've got a painting with a hole in it that you've just spent hours and hours working on. So the consternation is perhaps overwhelming. So what do? Not much you can do unless you can repair it invisibly. Pain in itself. Now I mean pain. It's definitely, and to be honest with you, it's kind of unsellable as, and the reason is it's got a flaw in it. You don't point out the flaw. You frame it and you sell it as is, and someday somebody takes it apart, sees that you've repaired it. Well, let me tell you, your name will be mud. Which of course refers to the famous Dr. Mudd, famously treated John Wilkes, the man who assassinated Abraham Lincoln. Ergo, your name will be mud. In other words, he was vilified for sticking to his Hippocratic oath, which was to help the sick and wounded and whoever else needed. Completely lost on the people. And he suffered. He never practiced medicine again, if I recall. But and he was tried as a co-conspirator. They let him go. Well, there was no evidence. They just happened to come near his house. What were they going to say? He didn't know Lincoln. Hell no, he didn't know. There wasn't radio or anything. How would he have known? It wasn't within a day or so. Or if you were close to a newspaper, it would be general knowledge, but it probably took him, I'll be honest with you, it probably took about a month before the word completely got out everywhere that the president had been assassinated. And not only that, but he wasn't dead on the spot. He died over the next few days. In essence, he wasn't dead, so what do you do? He had no knowledge. Poor bugger, you know. Doing his thing, his Hippocratic oath. That's John Wilkes Booth's leg forever becomes a part of the Lincoln assassination. Man, talk about being in the wrong place at the wrong time. Ergo, your name is Mud. Ain't that the truth? I know. It's green. I know. God, I hate Prismacolor. whole idea, not having to mix the colors. But it doesn't matter, I know how to do it. It's a matter of watching where my pencil goes. Done. Fixed. Want that angle like that. Oh well.
Radio Dismuke is now on Facebook. Find us at facebook.com/Radio Dismuke.
Streaming the sounds of the 1920s and 1930s around the world 24 hours a day. This is Radio Dismuke. RadioDismuke.com. HappyMusicRadio.com.
Da, 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 da.
There's one thing to think of when you're blue. There are others much worse off than you.
Ooh. Do, 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 do.
Laugh and say,
Da, 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 da,
and keep your sunny side
da, da,
up,
da.
side the side that gets blue.
Da, 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 da.
You have money, you know.
Oh, he's a bugger, aren't you?
Your funny side up, up. Let your laughter come through. Do stand up on your legs. Be like two fried eggs. Keep your sunny side up.
Dropping pencils like. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da.
Can be a pleasure or a pain. Good or bad, successful or in vain. Happiness is just a point of view. If you have it, here's the thing to do. Keep your sunny side up, up, round a frown with a smile. If you think it's raining for you, just remember
You may think that all these songs from the 1920s
for the bright side.
have like a very similar theme. Like they're all about happiness, love, or day, whatever. That's really what they're all about. And there's a reason for that. Believe it or not, there's a very good reason for that. And what it is that people listening all had lived through the First World War. And let me tell you, after that, there was no such thing as let me hear angst and bad news and sad songs. No. There was enough sadness to go around for everybody. And actually, it was a two-pronged situation. Two-pronged. What do I mean by that? Well, I shall explain.
What a difference a day.
The First World War brought people together who, in mass, from all over the world. So in other words, you had people from Australia, New Zealand, and Canada, and all the colonies, you had Britain, and of were fighting people from Germany and all the German colonies. And you get the picture? So all these people congregated in the war. Now, when the shooting stopped, what had happened was it was the most, at the time, the greatest conflict the world had ever seen. At the time. And as a consequence of that, all these people were in the same place. Well, who raises its ugly head? Who? Or what, more like it? What? Why, none other than the Spanish flu. Yes, the Spanish flu decides, well, all these humans are all in the same place. What a breeding ground for me, Spanish flu. And it was an insidious sickness, mainly because it infected people who were basically healthy and killed them dead. And just didn't kill them dead, it killed them dead fast. And so all these soldiers were mustered out of the war and headed home on troop ships. And who was there with them? The Spanish flu. And they got off the boats. No planes in those days. Got off the boats and went home and infected their families. And as I said, it was an insidious disease. The reasons it was so insidious was, as I said, it basically infected the very young and nice, good, healthy people. So a guy would get up in the morning and say, okay, I'm going to work tonight. Goodbye, dear. I'll see you this evening. And everything looked honky-dory. He'd come home and say, I'm feeling a little poorly. I don't know why, but I am. And I'm just going to go lie down. And he'd go lie down, and they'd find him in the morning. He'd be dead in bed. Walking around, strapping healthy one day, and dead the next. Scared the living hell out of the medical community. They didn't know what this was. What was this? Well, it was a viral flu that unfortunately had spread all over the world by virtue of these troops coming home. And it hit the world. Now, if you weren't involved in the First World War, odds are you would be safer. Because, if you were from, I don't know, some little place, some little country, Peru, say, odds you getting the Spanish flu were pretty slim because nobody there had been exposed to the virus. Mind you, if they were, they would get it. But anyway, so it was insidious, and it lasted right through until around 1920 something. And to give you an idea how bad it was, more people died of the Spanish flu than died in the First World War. Now that's saying something. They estimate This is what nobody knows for sure, but an estimation I saw one time was that they think 40 million people died. Now nobody knows. It could have been 80 million. It could have been 30 million. But a good estimate apparently was 40 million. Which I said was way more than died in the First World War. And this was killing people non-stop, to the point where people wouldn't even go outside. So it seemed to subside some in the wintertime. For the winter of 1919, it sort of bated a bit, came back again heavy duty in the summer. And then it kind of mysteriously just disappeared. Slowly but surely it was disappeared. There's no any antibiotic drugs, no nothing. So not that they would have helped because it was a viral infection. But there was nothing they could do except watch and say, holy shit, what? So this flu, deadly as it was, nobody, and I mean nobody, knew what it was. There weren't any cultures left. There weren't anything preserved back from those days, like 100 years ago. Nothing. So a group of scientists started saying, well, we don't even know what this damn thing was. How can we get a vaccine to the damn thing? We don't even know what it is. I said, okay, well, let's go find out what it was. And then the next question was, how? How? Basically, everybody's dead who had it. Anybody who had it and survived, dead, because it was too long ago.
Why, sleepy time, gal. You're turning night.
So how are we going to do that?
Sleepy time, gal. You've danced the evening away.
And,
Silvery stars fade.
frankly,
Oh, please.
they were stumped.
And then let us whisper.
And they stayed stumped for quite some time.
Sleepy time, gal.
Until somebody, and I don't remember who it was,
Sleepy time.
said, I got an idea.
Build a little cabin just for you.
Let's go
And what's more, you're going to love it, oh, I know. When you're
to Norway. Well, it was a Canadian scientist who wasn't an epidemiologist or anything. Canadian scientist. Woman who postulated that, if we go to Norway in the permafrost, we might be able to find some. I don't know why they picked Norway, but anyway, they did. And they did indeed find some bodies that were buried in the permafrost, but they had thawed a couple of times over the decades and proved to be no good at all. So they were stymied again. So then some brilliant person said, wait a minute. We kept good records. Let's go up to Alaska and see if they had records of deaths of Spanish. So they went up to Alaska, checked the records, died of Spanish flu. Okay, where's he buried? And lo and behold, they find some examples of people who died of the Spanish flu. You can say, Yahoo! Now, but were they viable for getting the virus? And they have blood samples. So in other words, they had to have been frozen solid for a millennia. Well, not a millennium, but for 100 years anyway. And they did indeed find some bodies who had been frozen. In other words, they were buried in the ice. Because, if it's near a glacier and there's no place to bury you, they bury you in the ice. And they were there. And they exhumed the bodies,
a full assortment of your favorite flavors in your
And they did the tests,
your favorite flavor every day.
and lo and behold,
The latest knee-high beverage,
voila,
knee-high true fruit
they
orange,
identified the virus.
delicious beverage made from the
As soon as identification was,
ripened oranges. Get
they
it.
were able to start work on a vaccine.
Boiled
So suffice it to say,
Be sure and take advantage
we won't have a
content.
Spanish flu epidemic again.
There are 4 prizes of
Thank God. I mean, it only killed 40 million people. Like, jeez.
64 cash
Anyway,
prizes in all.
be that as it may,
Well, it's
if any of you who are listening
just go to your
who
favorite
remember the flu, bird flu, H1N1,
$6,000
reason why the
or you can write to your nearest knee-high bottler.
medical people in
You can write to the station to
Canada, the United States, Britain, wherever, were in an absolute panic is because the Chinese, for whatever reason, did not identify this new virus until a whole bunch of people in China had died. Then they decided to tell the rest of the world, well, we're having a bit of a problem here. What's the problem? Well, it would appear like a virus has jumped from birds to humans, and it's viral. What? Viral. Oh, damn. Why didn't you tell us sooner, you sons of bitches? Well, that's the Chinese for you. But they finally gave up the ghost, and yes, so that's why they were in such a panic. Because without the virus, they can't make a vaccine. So that's why everybody was walking around in masks and all that crap that you had to do on the bird flu. And it turns out that after some more digging, medical digging, there's been a number of other viral outbreaks like this over the centuries. And one of them was in Great Britain. There's no reports of it apparently anywhere else. So my odds are that it was somewhere else, but it just didn't get reported. And it was called the sweating sickness. And what would happen is it was like a flu, but you sweat like it was unbelievable. Then your organs broke down and you died. And they have never identified it. There is no records, there's no bodies, no nothing. They don't know what it was and why it died out. Well, they kind of know why it died out. It killed off its host population. That's what viruses do. And when it's like smallpox. When there's nobody left, and they just die with the last. The virus just dies with the last known. Last known person who had it. So, nobody knows what that is. Nobody knew. Nobody knows to this day what that. There's lots of reports of it. Not to mention the Black Death and whatnot. They're not 100% sure though what the Black Death was. They know as far as they think, it's bubonic plague. But nobody knows absolutely for sure, and they don't know if every plague that came through was a bubonic plague. That's the problem. The assumption is it's bubonic plague, but not necessarily. Not every case, anyway. There's no way to prove it. So, you'll hear it was bubonic plague, and the symptoms were very similar to bubonic plague. But nobody actually knows it was bubonic plague because nobody actually knows. There's no bodies or anything identifiable that died of plague back from the Middle Ages. It proves undoubtedly that it was bubonic plague. So there you got that problem. So the question is, what's the next one? That's why they're constantly monitoring. Because in today's modern world, where it might take a year or two, maybe even longer, to get an infected person over to this side of the world. Now, they're a few hour airplane ride and you're there. So this is why it's such a scary thing. Why they were asking at the airports, have you been anywhere near Nigeria or Ghana or any of these places for a while? At Canadian airports, because somebody came in and they thought she had Ebola, the Ebola virus. Turns out she didn't. But it scared the hell out of them. Ebola virus is very, very transferable from person to person. It isn't very transferable otherwise, because it's not airborne. If it's airborne, like 1918 flu virus was, then you're really screwed. But if it's not airborne, then you have a fighting chance. That's what's scaring the medical community right now is if one of these flus or viruses rears its ugly head and it's airborne, man alive, nothing will save you. Well, lucky, maybe your genes will save you. But odds are, cooked. Now, that brings me to another story. Her name, maybe you've heard it, maybe you haven't. But her name was Typhoid Mary. Typhoid Mary was a woman who lived in New York City. I think it was about 1880 or something. And there would be outbreaks of typhoid fever. Random outbreaks. And they couldn't figure out what in God's name was causing this. All of a sudden there would be a typhoid epidemic in a section of the city, and what was the reason? Like, what happened? Why? Why? Well, there was a woman, and her name was Mary. I don't know her last name. I don't know if they ever even released her last name. I know she's known as Mary, but I don't know if her last name has ever even been released. But they found her. They isolated her based on where. I can't remember how they found her, but they did. And she was a typhoid carrier. So wherever she went, I know how they found her. You know how they found her. She was a domestic. Like she worked for rich people. And she was like watch the kids, cleaning lady type of thing, you know? And every family she worked for came down with typhus and died. And they put 2 and 2 together and said, who is this person? What's the clue? Like, what's the commonality of this? Well, they finally figured out it was Mary. Mary! So what they did is they went and arrested her and put her in isolation and it stopped the typhoid epidemics breaking out. And suffice to say, this woman had no clue. And she wasn't a very educated person, so she didn't really understand why she was being treated this way. Well, he ended up getting the court to agree that it was unlawful to keep her locked up. There was no crime that she had committed. And the minute they let her out, more people started dying of typhoid. So it was a conundrum. What to do? What do you do? Good question, right? What the hell do you do? Well, they finally convinced the courts that people are dying, and it's because this woman is a typhoid carrier. I think she was the only one ever known in history that carried the typhoid. Lived to talk about it and did not get sick from it. And they finally gave her nice quarters in isolation. And she eventually died in isolation. Not that she was put in like a prison cell. They gave her a nice place to live. But she couldn't have any visitors or friends who weren't properly attired that wouldn't get typhoid. And that was the end of it. And her name was Typhoid Mary. She would go around to like a drinking fountain and have a sip, and the next couple of people that went there, they would get typhoid. It was a real mystery. What is going on? The disease, but there was a guy in London that did the very same. Only there wasn't a typhoid Mary. But he drew a map, and he noticed around the map cases of disease. I think it was typhus. I think so. I'm not 100% sure though. What disease was, but anyway, it was like typhus. Very fatal and very if you caught it, you were fucked, right? Anyway, they did is he went around to the drinking fountains, public drinking fountains, which were all pumps, you know, and started mapping out where exactly and which pumps there was clusters of people who had were getting diseased, and he narrowed it down to one pump in London, and he convinced the authorities that this is the problem right here, and they shut the pump down, and the case disappeared. Now, was that a bit of medical sleuthing, eh? I mean, really smart. Wow. Really smart. Cases like that. That's what Bill Gates is doing, you know, with polio. Trying to wipe out polio. Every time there's a polio victim, they go in there like madmen, isolate the person, and then they give them. They make sure they recover, and then what happens is they vaccinate everybody within so many miles, and that's his thing. Bill and Melinda Gates. Pretty big of them, to be honest with you. I mean, have to do it, but India is particularly bad for polio. Like, not everybody gets a shot, if you know what I mean. If you're wealthier, you get a shot, obviously. But if you're not wealthy, you're SOL. So if you get typhoid, or not typhoid, if you get sick, you die, or you get crippled by polio. And there's no need for this because there's a vaccine for it.
If you believed in me, yes, it's only a canvas sky hanging over a muslin tree, but it wouldn't be make-believe if you believed in me. Without your love, it's a honky-tonk parade. Without your
love,
it's the melody played in a penny arcade. It's the Barnum and Bailey world, just as phony as it can be. But it wouldn't be make-believe if you believed in me.
Dun, 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 dun. Is on a paper moon. A lot of people wonder why people preferred to come to Canada and northern U.S. and whatnot. And let's face it, I mean, you had your choice. Why would you come where it's cold? Why don't you go where it's warm? You don't have to get sick, or you can grow your crops easier. I mean, what's the reason behind this? Like, why?
You are listening to Radio
Well,
Dismute.
summer was not a time of socialization in the north. It was more of time when people really didn't see much of each other. They really didn't. They didn't see much of each other at all. And the reason for that was summer was a time of disease. If it was going to raise its ugly head, summertime was the time it would do that. So they didn't really socialize in the summer. But the opposite was true in the winter. People really socialized in the winter. It didn't mean they were antisocial. It simply meant that there weren't so many bugs floating around. Because, you know, typhus is in an open cesspool. Once it's frozen over, there's no more typhus in it. Dead, gone, buried, finished. So this is what people figured out. I mean, it wasn't rocket science. That's what they figured out. And they so socialization was done during the winter months. So now you know why people liked the colder climates, because they knew 6 to 8 months of the year in some cases would be cold enough you have to worry about bloody diseases. And that's what happened. Not swapping, laddie.
It wasn't pleasure that turned it gray, joy in my eyes or tears in the skies, but they've got me worrying for you.
Happen. So every time you see something history doesn't quite make sense in terms of mass extinction events or wiping out population. Do yourself a favor and look a little deeper, because you'll find that really the only thing that kind of really wipes out whole populations, I mean every last man, every last woman, everybody, is disease. Well, disease and starvation, obviously. Yeah, that's what does it. And in general, people don't like to admit that. So you'll hear about the genocide of the Indians. And frankly, the estimate for the disease deaths, not the battle deaths, but disease deaths of people in the Americas where they built up immunities, has been estimated at 90%. So 9 out of 10 people. Now, if you think that's an awful lot, you're right. But remember, a lot of them didn't die of smallpox. They died of measles, chickenpox, something that North Americans basically got when they were kids, and very few people died because they had built up over the years natural immunities to it that lessen the course of the disease to the point where it wasn't usually fatal, it was just inconvenient. But that's not what happened with people who were never exposed to chickenpox or measles. And it was a scourge, really. In Hawaii, they say about 80% of the people, I think it was, died of measles. Native Hawaiians. Measles. Imagine? Not 80% of the people. It's terrible. And, not unusual. And, you know, the old story of how the Iroquois finally defeated the Huron Indians. Well, the truth of the matter is they didn't defeat them. When they got there, there was nobody there. One of the reasons there was nobody there was because they'd been wiped out by disease. And who brought the disease? I hear a guess. No. The Jesuits. Yes, those wonderful, God-fearing, Bible-thumping guys. Yes, the Jesuits. Isn't that precious? Anyway, that's what did it, man. So when the Iroquois finally made up their mind they were going to take over all Huron lands, which they did. They didn't keep them very long. They couldn't be bothered because they weren't that. There was lots of Iroquois, but they had lots of land. The Iroquois Confederacy, Cayuga, the Mohawks, Oneida. You know. When they got it, they didn't want it. Really, what they wanted was hunting grounds, and with the threat of the Huron gone, it raised the amount of game that was available. And the Huron were completely wiped out. The survivors moved towards where Ottawa, Canada is now. And I think they just joined up with some other tribes, maybe the Cree or somebody. what was left of them. But they were a mighty power one time. Yeah, that's what kept like the Iroquois at bay, and also they aligned themselves with the French too, which didn't give them any. Certainly didn't give them any friends in the British. Man, what did I airbrush it? Okay. So, there you are. Where'd you go? Come on. Where are you? Where did you go? Ah, it is still here. Sorry, my fault. Like that, and I airbrushed that out. So that came up in this. And it actually looked like this. Then I went down. That. And there was more of this that came. So I had this and then that's why it went up. Okay, I get it. We're down. Alright, sketched in again. I mean, the quick and easy way is great, but you know what? What happens is that actually I just went too far up there. What happens is I'm going to have to change that and take this section of airbrushing out. It's easier to do. You take it out with a pencil, match the color, take it out. Put the head a little purple on. That's that way, is it? Alright. Okay, so that's fixed. What does it go down to the ear? You got purple ears, Lottie. Why? Why purple ears? Tell me why you got purple ears, lad. I know you're an Orcanal. You got purple ears. How do I know you go out with purple ears? Oh, I know what I did. Okay, I got you now. Oh, I know what I did. Wasn't the one. Sketch purple. Alright. Good enough. So, tell me again about your purple ears. Why? Why would your mother give you purple ears?
Radio
Oh, your mother was an orc.
supported service
Oh, of
Music
course.
Preservation, a nonprofit
Huh,
organization
why didn't I think of it?
bringing the great forgotten music of the past to the attention of new and appreciative modern
Of course
audiences.
she was.
If you enjoy the music we present and
Now, the question is,
please consider giving us your
she
support
ugly as you.
if you're able. Your contribution will not only ensure that the music continues to play
What's
for
that?
your own enjoyment, you will also be passing on a priceless gift to all
Them's
those
fighting
who
words?
discover this wonderful music
Oh.
for the first time as a result of our
Well,
efforts.
maybe
For
I
more information, go to
paint in,
www.early1900s.org. That's early.
I'm a suck on your forehead. How would that do? Oh, well, that's better. A little contriteness never hurt anybody. Yes, I accept your apology. I won't do that now. Don't let it happen again. Oh, you're Irish. Okay. You're calling me I'm a wee bastard. A bastard, no, not wee. Yes, compared to you. Wee bastard. That isn't me. Hard to talk to you. Go away. Oh, that orc I just... Oh, she's Miss Orc. Oh, okay. Oh, she won Miss Orc. Oh. The Miss Orc pageant? I didn't realize that. Who knew? I never heard of that. The Orc Beauty Pageant? Ooh. Anybody even go? Yeah, I don't know wee best. Yeah, I'm just asking. Go to that? Why would you go to that? Why? Oh. I mean, you go through life looking like a Klingon. What do you expect? You don't know what a Klingon is. Klingon is ugly. No, I really don't have much of Orc beauty. Kind of like human beauty better. No, I'm not prejudiced. Not in the least. Well, I don't care what you think. Let me ask you, how many other people have conversations with a painting or drawing? Not many. Actually, what it is, I want to know from the actual reason. Wait. Fabulous practice. I mentioned I wrote a book, historical novel. And when you're writing a book, you have to kind of give both sides of the narration. In other words, just you, but you got to talk one person to the other person, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And doing that, you kind of have to. Learn how to do two-sided conversations, like you, because it's all made up, right? So you just have to learn how to do that. And how you practice it, you're having a conversation, for instance, with an orc, and the dialogue kind of gets, not that you're going to use it necessarily, but the practice is good. So when you're writing a novel or whatever, you can do the dialogue. You can imagine you're writing a novel and you go, John said run to Mary. Mary said, and you're stuck. Maybe you're stuck for the rest of your life. Maybe, I don't know, but all I'm saying is that you gotta learn how to do that. And if you don't, I guarantee you one thing. You won't be writing a novel. It'll drive you crazy. You won't be able to carry on a conversation in the novel. So it's practice. And it's easy to do in a sense, just make up nonsense conversations. But it lets your brain kind of work two ways, one person and the other. And no, it isn't schizophrenia. It's just the way novelists work. And it's kind of like practice, that's what it is. And you kind of learn that, to be honest with you, by working in, like I did some TV, right? TV show. And you're not talking to anybody because it's on tape. So what you're doing is talking to nobody. You gotta learn how to do that. Because with the camera running, there can't be silence. There has to be talk all the time. You gotta constantly figure out a conversation to have with people who really aren't there. And that's how you know how to do that. And if you're anybody in TV or radio who does that kind of thing, they know how to do that. They've taught themselves. And like I said, you gotta practice. Because it's hard to do. It really is. If you don't practice. If you practice, no, it isn't hard. Practice. Just saw it was me practicing.
Gee, it's a panic when a kitchen mechanic steps around to that old jug band. When they do that dance that's known as wiping the pan.
I guess the best example is novel. One person writing and could be up to a dozen people having the conversation in the book. Well, there's only one person, so there's a dozen conversations going on and coming out of the one person. And all at the same time making it interesting, because otherwise the book's not going to be very successful. You gotta learn how to do that. And it's not easy, but once you kind of learn, it's not. But if you can't do it, stay the hell out of TV and radio. You'll be very disappointed. That's how they kind of train you. Like, for instance, there was one guy that I listened to. What he would do is say, pick up a safety pin talk for 15 minutes about the safety pin first. Just talk to them. And he says, when you can get to the point where you can talk about the safety pin non-stop for like 20 minutes, you're on your way. And he was right. He was right. They used to teach that in the broadcasting school. I don't know if they still do. I don't know. I never went to broadcasting. I just learned how to do it. I was trained as an artist, not a big guy. But I picked it up. For what it's worth, that's the way it is. Oh, come to me, come to me, come to me. Here?
Qui rend la femme plus sensible, qui sait doubler tous ses attraits,
Here.
qui rend les gens plus accessibles jusqu'aux rois dans leur palais, qui donne des carosses aux petites femmes de Paris.
Oh, that's great.
Et qui souvent donne des crosses à de Marie. Je crois bien que c'est l'amour, de la nature, c'est toujours le même. De ces bras il nous entoure, quand on nous murmure, Monsieur je vous aime.
Mind you, I think for the fact that it took me probably just a little over an hour and a bit to get this sketched out and airbrushed, it has to be like, it has to be some sort of record. I don't know. Jesus, I was moving. The other piece was finished, and I had to start a new piece. Right? And sit here and just go, well, this is about the piece I'm thinking to do. If you want to see it, I gotta have it. So there he is. At that speed, you do tend to make some small errors and here and there. But again, you know how to fix that kind of stuff. Makes no difference. No difference at all.
De New York à Singapour, dans l'Afghanistan, on dit je vous aime. Sur la Garonne et sur la Dour, les femmes se donnent et s'abandonnent.
Another fold in her oar.
Ce vieux troubadour qu'on aime.
This yellow, which is lemon yellow. Doing that because it's really.
Would you like to take a walk?
And you can fix that kind of stuff with color like this. And it's worth learning which colors will do that, because if you do, you never run into the problem of saying, oh no, it's not fixed. In fact, nothing is unfixed. You're using this technique. Your last line of defense is just paint. Cover anything with anything. No difference, lot. None. No difference at all. You don't worry about it. Things will happen. You say to yourself, how the hell did that happen? This white really sucks. This is bad mix. a really bad mix. In terms of silkiness of the wax, just not good. Now, by the same token, this one would drive you crazy. See, look at the difference right there. Look at that. See how creamy it is? That's drives you crazy. Because there's the consistency isn't.
When you're strolling through the wares, you need a who's to lean upon. But when you have no who's to hug and wash the
When you get a good one, you kind of use it sparingly. And it fixes all those problems. See how much I laid down there with this pencil as opposed to the other white pencil? Now I ask you, you make up probably 10,000 pound batches of color and they put it in pencils. Why is one different from another? Why? How does that work? The mysteries of Prismacolor. That's one of the mysteries. This for me anyway. I have no idea why. You'd think it'd be, but it's not. I want a little modeling in here, like the flesh isn't perfect. Orky type of flesh. Anyhow, friends, Romans, countrymen. I'm going to put all those pencils I was using there, because I'm going to use exactly the same pencils on. And I think that'll do it for this evening, folks. Or folks, whatever. Been a slice. I hope you enjoyed. Progress that was made, but I do notice just before I go. I hope this is soft. Get a little bit more nuts. I'd like to get just a tad more light on that side. Now that I'm looking at it, the whole drawing. I think in my haste to get the lines in for detail, might have taken out a little bit too much of the gold color. Color I use for a few. Oh yeah, this is canary yellow. Opposed to give you a nice bright yellow, especially on top of the white. Now, I'm not going to go over the white again with it because this is. I'll have to leave that for a slight glaze. You want it yellow. I want it goldy. Yeah. Different gold. I like it. Which is what I want. Yep, that's what I want. I didn't use this tonight. I had it sitting there. Thought it was or lemon yellow. It's canary yellow. There, much more gold. That's that bronzy kind of gold. There's two different golds. As I said, the God of War I did this gold in, and the real 24 karat kind of gold. So it's gold and gold on gold. Got more of a bronzy gold. A lot of places on here, but I'm making it which gold I want as I do it. As it's done. Transition there. Transition is one color to the next with the blending in the middle, so it's just your eye just dark and bright. It's 3 colors, not 2. Anyhow, that's it for tonight, laddies. I want to thank you for watching, and you guys have a wonderful day, and we will see you tomorrow, which is Thursday, 7 o'clock. Be there, and I will too. Good night.